So it becomes this habit of you can't do anything unless you go to your phone and go scroll and find a certain amount of dopamine, and then you go do the simplest tasks because you cannot function without the videos. Like, don't think so far, because people change. Like, something could happen to me tomorrow and then I'm like, oh my god, I'm a brand new person. When I talk to myself, I'm just kind of more like very raw and honest, because why would I hide anything from myself? You know, and I know it could be some trauma response not to be honest with yourself because you don't want to believe something is real, even though you know deep down that it's real, that you really felt like this and this and that, this and that. I'm not saying you should respond to every feeling you have or like thought or idea you have, because if you respond to every voice that you're gonna go crazy. Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. Smells like weed. So this video is not like a podcast or where I'm trying to give you guys advices. I was not planning to do a video. I was like, you know what, let me find a place and I can show you my setup. So this is the place. I love the ocean, and this is my book that I'm reading. I can show you guys. So Ego is the Enemy, and this is the Ryan Holiday book. I like it. Sometimes I read it, I'm just like, what is he talking about? And then later on, when I read back the writing, I'm like, oh my god, he's talking about many of us. There's different things that make ego, and the things that we don't really know, like having paranoia goes very well with ego, and all these crazy stuff. I was reading it, and then I'm just like, that's crazy. So I like Ryan Holiday, and I like his books. One of his favorite books is the 365 Days, if I'm correct. I have like 3 of Ryan Holiday books, but my favorite is the 65 Days, or 63. Every day there's a quote from the old times, like from the Romans, mostly the philosophers, like, Seneca and Marcus Aurelius and stuff like that, and plenty more. Every day there's a quote, and then he explains it so nicely why X, Y, and Z is X, Y, and Z, and it's so nice. It's like reminders for every day. So I was reading the Ego is the Enemy, and then I'm like, you know what, I'm hungry, so I got up and got some food. Usually drink outside is coconut water. I love to drink like cold ass drinks, but I also love to drink hot drinks. It's like in between, but it depends on the day, obviously. So then also I bought a bagel with salmon and eggs. I already took a couple bites because it looked so good, but it kind of looks like this, and I love bagels. There's like people sailing. I don't know if you can guys see, but I love people that live in the ocean. Like, part of me believes that I'm a mermaid. I just love that shit. And, before my mom took the Netflix out, I used to watch the H2O, the mermaid series, where there was Ricky and I forgot the girls' names, but yeah, and then she took it out, and then now I'm like without Netflix, so I can't watch the H2O. So it has, lettuce and some salmon and cream cheese and stuff like that. And guys, eggs makes me fart so badly. It's irrelevant that I'm telling you this, but it's just what it does, Okay. So the more I am in this social media and I listen to these videos, like the 15-second videos, 10-second, 30 seconds, the reels, because I don't have TikTok, but technically TikTok is the same as Instagram or YouTube. And I tell people, yeah, I don't have TikTok, when they ask me like, can they send me some stuff? Like, yeah, I don't have TikTok. But I kind of feel guilty that I have Instagram, because I removed TikTok for a particular reason of me actually spending a lot of time in it and then just doom scrolling. Everybody's living this fake life that it's really not real, and then we kind of feel bad because we kind of compare ourselves to them. Even if we don't want to compare, we kind of compare ourselves. You're in Instagram or any social media, I don't know if it's with everyone, but there's like a bunch of self-improvement videos, and some people's feeds, like mine, is most of the time just self-improvement or makeup, clothes, cars and motorsports, formula and shit. Sometimes I'm on Instagram and all I see is self-improvement posts, and then I'm like, yeah, like self-improvement, yeah, like gang, like shit is about to be lit. I'm about to be the best version of myself. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna be wealthy, I'm gonna have hyper focus, whatever you want to say. I get the dopamine hit. I do what I need to do, the tasks I do all of them. I am disciplined on my tasks. I don't leave things out just easily, because I have trained my brain to do that, and it's not as hard as it used to be, because we just kind of get used to it. And then you see these self-improvement things, and then all you do is just want to self-improve, but we don't understand that it's kind of ruining our peace, like mental state, because all we want to do is self-improve for the future, but we are not living in the present. If you see these videos where someone is talking about, yeah, like you need to do this and that, and you're like, what, I need to do that, and I need to do this, and all these crazy shit, and then you get off the app and then you go do some stuff, and then you feel good, right? And then the next day you don't see any motivational videos or like inspiration clips or quotes or whatever, and then you're like trying to do something and then you fail on it, or for example you just don't do what you need to do or have to do, the simplest things like tasks, you don't do them, and then you feel like ass. You feel such a deep guilt because the day before you did it, and then now you're not doing it because you didn't see any videos, and then you go you take your phone and then you go and try to find any video that gives you that dopamine, and then again you're like, oh my god, yeah, like what, I can do anything, and then you go do the thing, and what now? It's this constant loop. I don't even know if I explained it quite well, but what I'm trying to say is it's a loop. It's a very dark loop. You constantly need some motivational or some dude on Instagram to tell you to do the best things you can do. Like almost every task, it becomes a habit. So every task you try to do, you need some motivational video or quote or a song. You need someone to push you to make the simplest tasks, if you know what I'm saying. So it becomes this habit of you can't do anything unless you go to your phone and go scroll and find a certain amount of dopamine, and then you go do the simplest tasks because you cannot function without the videos. I hope you guys got it, but it's the reality, it's the ugly truth. What happened to me is I used to be stuck like that, and then I realized, what, my present moment is being stolen, and I believe that life is all about experiencing new stuff and doing great things, but at the same time you need to push yourself and do great stuff, like the things that you never done. Also, that depends on some people, because I have been talking to some people recently, and when I try to push them to do great things or experience new things, it kind of becomes, I'm kind of addicted to push people to do, better things. That kind of sounds odd, but that's kind of the real shit. And then, they tell me like, hey, like not everybody wants to do their best. I just kind of shut down. I was like, what do you mean? Isn't life about doing, better every time? And they were like, no, I don't feel like going to that place, even though I have never experienced that. I don't want to get over my fears and stuff like that the way you want to. And I'm like, you know what? It's okay. like my brain kind of locked. I was like, what? You know, what the hell? I'm not saying the people that I talked to didn't want to get over their fears. It's just they wanted to sit down, take their time with their life. They didn't want to do, they didn't want the momentum that I wanted. Maybe my momentum was faster than theirs. There's some people that they feel like, you know what, if I want to get over some stuff, I need to do stuff. And then there's the other people that feel like, you know what, if I want to get over stuff, I need to take time. And I feel like I'm a mix of both, but I prefer taking like momentum because it's a lot easier for me to, you know, forget. And this is so good. And the forgetting part, there's there's pros and cons, because if something happens to you and you just try to forget it, like me, this happens to me quite often. Like if you told me, yeah, like what about your childhood traumas and shit, I don't remember anything about my childhood. Like I do randomly remember stuff, but I can't tell you like what happened. Like I don't even remember what happened 2 weeks ago, like exactly. I don't know what's the cause of that. And sometimes there's people that tell me, yeah, like, don't you remember you were in that place and this place? I'm just like, what are you talking about? I wasn't there. And then they were like, yeah, you were. And then I'm like, my brain kind of fogs somehow. About the remember and forget. No, I mean, I'm saying like forgetting stuff, just trying to forget stuff by doing. I like the mechanism, but there's like so many cons with that. Because if you don't take time with yourself to get, you know, understand how you're feeling at that moment about anything, like for example, you just got disrespected by your loved one, or you know, there's a trauma response just happening, and you just don't take the moment to understand how you're feeling, it becomes like a habit to you. You just kind of get triggered easily. And I realized that a couple days back, because for the past 2 months I have kind of daily, you know, had the memory of, okay, this happened to me as a child. I remember I was very a quiet person as a child. I was that child that used to hide behind my mom's knees, or like behind her, because that sounded so weird, but behind her, because I was kind of afraid or just didn't prefer talking to people. I liked to be in my circle. Kind of started getting these like blank outs where I started to kind of put pieces together, and I was like, you know what? I was left out as a child. Like I had friends, but I wouldn't consider them as friends. It kind of pushed me to be alone. This thing in me that I just prefer being alone kind of grew. Now, while I grew up, I'm like, you know what? I prefer doing a bunch of things alone. If I feel uncomfortable in some scenarios, I don't talk about the comfortableness where you feel when you're trying something new. When I feel uncomfortable in moments where I feel like this is something familiar that I have felt with before, I just kind of stand up and leave. So I just kind of get out and do something alone. Some people around me take that very personal, but I have tried to explain it to them like, hey, it's nothing personal. It's just I really need time alone, because if I don't have time alone right now, I feel like I'm gonna say something very rude. Like some people sense it from me, like mostly my family members now. But you know, back then I had these and I never knew like what's the cause. Like why do I need to be alone when I feel like overwhelmed? I have a very high stress tolerance. I can tell you guys that. I really appreciate the people that invite me in places and tell me like, hey, do you want to do this and that? Because I'm a very active person. Yes, I would love to do that. Please show me love. That's amazing for you to invite me to do stuff with you. The experiences that I have had many times where when I want to go somewhere and do something and then I invite a person to come with me, Um, it's just like I can't enjoy the present moment because they don't like the place where we are, or they are feeling down, or they want to leave early, or they want to, you know, it's like, oh my god, do I have to take this person home now, or do I have to do this? I'm really enjoying my time, but because this person with me that came with me to this event or place, I need to like, oh my god, it feels like I'm being controlled. And because genuinely I believe that I am a very nice person. Like, I know I'm a nice person. Yes, we do mistakes, but also there is a theory that I believe that we all are bad people. We just try to strive for better, if you know what I'm saying. But it's just a saying. If I'm alone, I can do whatever. I feel like the world revolves around me if I'm alone. Like, I am the only person alive when I'm alone. And then these people are just souls that are hanging out. Like, I love that feeling. But also, when I'm hanging out with the people that I love, or my loved ones, I'm like, oh my god, I love spending time with you. I feel like this is so amazing that I'm with you. And it could be with my families and stuff, or friends and or loved ones and anything like that. So I'm like, oh my god, I feel so nice hanging out with you. Like, it's a very freeing feeling when you love your own company. Like, you just genuinely do. And recently I lost one of my favorite peoples on earth. Like, I had this best friend, and then we're not best friends anymore. And hanging out with her, it was so much fun. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It was like the world, it was so green when I was with her. Like, there was so much to do. I just felt very uncomfortable, like, with the situation, like, mental state that I was in. So I needed time alone, and I tried to explain it to her, like, hey, like, I need time now. Like, I'm gonna take a time out. And then sometimes those timeouts were like, oh, just a little bit, and then I'm like, oh my god, like, I need to text her, or I need to do this, and when I needed time alone, because I believe I sense myself very well. Like, I know who I am. Like, I know when I feel like something is up, or I know when I feel uncomfortable, or I know when I'm sensing fear. Like, I believe because I have spent so much time with myself and get to know myself kind of better, I know when I feel uncomfortable, and like when I sense happiness, I'm like, okay, I'm happy right now. So I don't need someone else to tell me how I'm supposed to feel. If you take care of yourself enough, you know that the people you love or make you happy, you should have every reason to care for them or make them even happier. Like, the things you want to do to your loved ones, you should do to yourself also before you do to someone else. Oops. People stopped kind of taking time to understand other people's reactions, response. If you respond to something very like randomly, like, oh my god, why did I respond to that situation like that? That's mostly like trauma response, because you have a trauma of something, and then you reacted like that because you were in similar familiar situation, and now you're feeling like, you know what I'm saying, guys. But also, what I have in my head is trauma is not real. I know it's real, guys, and I know embarrassment is real, and I know everything is real. But it's so useless to me, because why would I, believe that there is a feeling that could make me feel weaker, if you know what I'm saying. So what is easier for me is to just kind of, I believe there is this feeling, but I just refuse to think I have it. So it doesn't stop me from anything. If you guys know what I'm saying. Everything is kind of temporary. So when I talk to someone else, I try to be nicer. When I talk to myself, I'm just kind of more like very raw and honest. Because why would I hide anything from myself? And I know it could be some trauma response not to be honest with yourself, because you don't want to believe something is real, even though you know deep down that it's real, that you really felt like this and this and that, this and that. I'm not saying you should respond to every feeling you have, or like thought or idea you have, because if you respond to every voice that me, 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 you're gonna go crazy. You don't want to be that. Like, there's many reasons why it's good to be alone, and there's many reasons why being alone for a life or a long time, it's not good for you, because you're gonna go crazy. If you really think about it, us humans, we were created, we are spiritual beings, so God wants you to meet people, and like, you obviously are, like, we are meant to connect with people, so you cannot be alone forever. And sometimes it gets to a point where you enjoy your alone time, for, like, you enjoy it so much to a point where I'm starting to think, maybe I'm gonna be alone forever. What if I don't have these survival skills to be with someone forever? And then I'm like, you know what? Like, you're gonna be okay. Like, don't think so far, because people change. Like, something could happen to me tomorrow, and then I'm like, oh my god, I'm a brand new person. There's some people, actually, that they kind of fear being alone. Like, they fear being alone. I'm like, bro, what is there to be feared? Look at yourself, bro. Like, you can do whatever. You can, like, there's a third eye that is watching you. Like, you're watching yourself. You're the third eye watching you. So when you're alone, you can act as weird as you can. Like, imagine knowing someone so good. That's you. I have spent so much time alone that I know myself the best. So why would I not create this monster who is bulletproof, like me? If you guys know what I'm saying, like, why would you not love hanging out with yourself? I know if it gets to a certain extent where you're alone so much, it can be like, I'm so flipping bored. Like, what am I gonna do now? But if you have people around you that have ideas and stuff, something like that, like, you're gonna get so creative with everything. People accept toxic people just because it's like quiet validation, and quiet validation is something like, you bear people to just be around you, and like, even if they're mad at you, even if you hate someone, but you still don't want to cut any ties with them, because that's like quiet validation. So you accept the disrespect, the toxicity from people. You accept people doing wrong to you because you're scared to be alone, and even if you don't talk to them, you kind of just accept them being there. They're mad at you. That kind of gives you like quiet validation of, oh my god, somebody's caring for me. I reached to a point where, don't be afraid to kind of let people go. Even if you loved them so much, I believe that there is reasons to fight for people, like, don't let them just go easily. The tree will just let the apple fall when it's getting rotten, if you know what I'm saying. So there's just some people, even if you love them so much, you had so many good experiences, something like that, you're starting to lose yourself. That's when you should cut people. Like, don't be scared to just block people. Like, don't be scared to do that shit, because it's your life. You can create whatever you want. You can be whoever you want. You can do whatever plot twist you can. I am very against people that are like doing harm to each other. Like, how could you even... I don't even want to take revenge on people if they do me wrong. Like, obviously, don't let people disrespect you to a point where you just kind of swallow the disrespect and just leave things be. No. I'm saying that there is a point where you need to defend yourself, and that's okay, because that's in our Islam. You need to defend yourself. Revenge is what we're against. We're against revenge at all costs. The only revenge you can take is block that person and just get better. Everybody is special, but what made me kind of become less scared of audience or people's opinion is knowing that I am nobody. Like, I know I'm somebody, deep down I am somebody. Even if you have all eyes on you, having that mental state or like mindset that, okay, I'm nobody and nobody cares what I'm doing. Like, nobody cares what I'm doing. Then you kind of become free of doing what you want to do without, judging yourself about what people judge you of, if you know what I'm saying. It's a weird loop. So cute. I love people that do water activities, because that's what I do too. But the main point is I want to do like a different video of being alone because I have so much to talk about. Like, even God, like, he wants you to meet people. He will put people as a trial for you and as like a warming gift for you. And sometimes you meet people, you just don't know where they come from. Like, the amount of times that happens to me, it's crazy. Like, you just suddenly, you're like, the most random times you find random people, and then those people have the biggest impact in you with your life and everything. So people is like, I love people so much, and like seeing people do stuff that they enjoy, I'm like like my heart melts, because what the hell, like, this soul creature is enjoying what they like. Maybe I don't enjoy the same stuff, but they're enjoying doing that. I'm like, go for it. And it kind of inspires me. You know what, I should do my stuff with more passion, because this random stranger is doing his with his passion. Like, just the idea of you being nobody, it takes so much pressure off your back. We all experience the pressure when we think we are special. So when we think we're special and we have that in like our forehead, the idea of us being the most specialist person ever, yes, you should know that you're special, but just the ideology that you're so special that everybody thinks you're the specialist person alive, it puts so much pressure on you that you kind of just fail. The fail that you could have prevented. Want the extra weight off your back while performing or doing anything, just know that you are just another person, like, on the planet. There's so many people out there that have so many skills, so many talents. Don't compare yourself, okay? But there's just so many people with different skills and, you know, talents and everything, yet they're like nowhere. They could be somewhere, but they're nowhere. Believing in general that you are the only special person on the planet, it puts so much pressure on you on hard times. Like, maybe on good times you're like, oh my god, yeah, like, I'm so special and everything, but when you're going through a hard time, it will flash back. Like, it will get back at you some way or another. Like, I love coming to places where it kind of looks like I'm living in a movie. You know those American movies? Exactly those. Sooner or later, you guys are gonna see me like dive in some water. I'm gonna one day swim with fish. Inshallah. But yeah, guys. Whatever. I hope you guys like this video. It's kind of different, but I hope you guys see more of me. I hope I see more of me in my channel. Bye.